Hey, Troy. Thanks for your time. Just start off with injuries and such. Leal looked like maybe June had a bit of was favoring his shoulder a bit, or anything else that's going on?
Yeah, I said this in the post-match. I was a little bit concerned about June, and he's doing all right this week, I would say. We are going to just hear a little bit of the evaluation today from how he came out of training, but I think he's going to be good to go. And one more time, I'm disappointed that he was put in that situation, but he's a strong kid and really brave in that moment, and he was able to help us keep all 3 points by being so brave in that moment. And then Randall Leal, he had a little bit of a setback, but I think, again, he's going to be making progress. It's not a setback that we foresee being too long-term. Hakeem continues to make great progress, and then Jackson is going to be a little bit longer with again, Connor Antley being more in full team training this week, which is great for Connor.
Right. Looking back on last week, you got the victory, obviously, at home. It's a relief, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you saw last week that you hope to tighten up this week against Montreal?
I wouldn't describe it as a relief, man. I'm very happy, though, that's for sure. And we want to get that first win under our belts for 2025, so we accomplished that. We wanted to get the first win at home because we want to maybe try to recreate the narrative that is around that as the narrative should have been last season, but this is a new season. And, it just makes me really happy to see the guys be able to consistently play in the way that we have the first 3 weeks. I think we've been pretty consistent in a lot of what we've done, but the things we want to tighten up, I think we've also been maybe consistently a little bit erratic at times with the ball where we give it away in unnecessary situations. Against Chicago, I think we can point to the defensive set pieces, but we tightened that up because we didn't give many away against Sporting KC. So there's plenty of things we're going to continue to fine-tune. But what I want to say is I want to amplify the things that we've done consistently well, way more, because the positives have greatly outweighed any of the negatives so far in 2025. And we just want to keep building off of that. And so that's why I don't want to use words like relief. I want to use words like I'm happy. I want to continue to be happy about the progress we're making.
Coach, obviously Christian's going to get his goals, but how great is it to see some other guys getting some goals early on in the season, just 3 matches in? Yeah,
man, no doubt about it. That's something that for 2025, we want that to be part of the equation, which is Christian is our focal point. He is our guy. We want him to fill it up, and through 3 matches, he's been able to start off pretty well. But we also want to see Jared. We want to see Peglo. We want to see Kajima. We want to see Boris. We want to see Gabby. David Schnegg is also a dangerous attacker. Aaron Herrera, those guys step up and be able to score goals and create goals as well. And we've been able to see that again in the first 3 matches. Different guys have stepped up. Now on the flip side of that, we want to continue to. We haven't given much away, but when we give opportunities away to the opponent, we've been punished, and so we need to eliminate those moments in the match in all 3 matches that we've had so far, so we can take the next step of a clean sheet to go with some of the goal creation and goal scoring we've had.
As you talk a little bit about the giving key possessions away and then turning into key goals for the other team, what have you liked though from the defensive side so far? Because there are some new pieces, some guys that were added late to last season. Now they're all kind of coming to fruition.
Yeah, I mean, one area that we excelled in last year was how we pressed opponents. I mean, we were one of the best in the league, if not the best, many times in terms of ball wins, and then the chances we create off the ball win, not just because we want to win it. We want to win it and then try to go and make something of that. And we're right there again this year. In the first 3 matches, we're right at the top and winning the ball and then being able to go and try to create chances. We want to turn those chances into more goals. But I think defensively, when we've gotten broken down, we've done a really good job of eliminating those big opportunities that I'm talking about. Now we just got to tighten it up a little bit more, and Montreal is going to present some challenges for us in that way. They have a few dangerous attacking threats. They play a really nice brand, and it's going to be a challenge for us, but that's a challenge that we're going to welcome at home.
We all saw how tight last season ended up being in the standings, but how important is getting these results early on, because you haven't left a single game without picking up some points?
Yeah. I mean, it's different than last season in some ways, because I think in these last two matches, that is, we've gone down and we've been able to come back and not only draw versus Chicago, but then win versus Sporting KC. So I love that. Versus the other side, us taking the lead and then maybe we let the opponent back in and they either have a draw or they win the match. So I think that's something I've really liked from the group so far. But we also started last season with a win and 2 draws, So, I mean, I can remember that start last year. This is a bright start. What I feel, though, about this group that's different than how we started last year, it's much more in our way, much more consistent, to use that word again. And now we want to use this momentum and build off of it and create more momentum. That's our goal now. And we didn't necessarily do that last year well enough.
We'll go back to Steven.
I know this is looking ahead a little bit, but next week enters a window which you have to play a game. Yeah. But aside from those scheduling issues, a couple guys have been publicly announced going. What's your anticipation overall for international call-up?
We have 8-9 guys that are the potential of being called up, right? And they have been called up in the past. I think it looks like next week it's going to be somewhere in the frame of 3 or 4, so it's not going to be as many that are there potentially to go. But those will be all 3 of those for us will be players that we rely on, and this is something that we have to deal with. And I'm excited for the opportunity that it creates for a couple more guys to step up. So those that I know have been publicly announced so far are Kai, I believe Matty Peltola, and Aaron Herrera, I believe. So those 3, now that presents an opportunity for Lucas McNaughton, who came in this past match. It presents an opportunity for Brandon Cervania to get another look potentially, or Derek Dodson for Aaron Herrera. So I like that for what our squad has available this year. We've added quality and depth, no doubt about it.
And they get minutes that they need.
That's right. Exactly. Don't want to miss guys clearly at any point, but every single team's dealing with this, and I think we're equipped to deal with it even better this year.
Now we'll take some from Zoom. We'll go to Dave Johnson.
Hi, Troy. And maybe Stephen already mentioned this, but I'm absolutely gutted at the passing of John Feinstein, one of the greatest sports writers of all time. But just to share, and maybe everybody already knows this, but he really cut his teeth covering soccer in the North American Soccer League with the Washington Diplomats. And as a teenager, I lived for his articles, and it was during the Johan Cruyff time. So just some thoughts there, because our game connects with so many. And John obviously went on to great heights in writing books, but I will always cherish those Washington Diplomats articles. I didn't see the game because I was working the Wizards. I didn't see it live.
Yeah.
But I'm following it. And when I see us go up 2-1, and I see Kajima got the goal, my reaction was, of course he did. Because we had talked to him 2 days before, and this is a game of fine margins. And maybe you could just speak to that, because his detail mentally never shuts off. I left that call on Thursday feeling like, wow, look out, this guy is breathing in his opportunity. He's going to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and you mentioned it was Jonathan Feinstein. Is that who you said? Yeah, I don't know him personally or his work personally, but I appreciate you mentioning that, and certainly our regards from our club to his family, because anyone that's covered this game and put time into trying to make this game grow is something that we appreciate. And, like when Steve's in this room right now, I've told Steve this personally, but like the way he's covered the game and his journalism and just the overall professionalism that he has, it's not an easy job to do, and sometimes a thankless one. So I appreciate you mentioning someone like this that has come before someone like Steve even. When I look at Jose Kajima, it just brings a smile to my face, because every time I come into the building at 6:30 in the morning, I try to get here as early as possible. Inevitably, he's already here. He's already here. He's already looking at his laptop. He's already watching film. I think he beats virtually everyone into the building, with the exception of my goalkeeper coach and Matan Shostak, who is the head of our security. And that's who Jose is. Jose is a guy that he's not doing it to be noticed by anyone. He's doing it because that's his craft. He wants to be as professional as possible, and that's part of his routine. And it's coming from a really genuine place. And so, he studies the game. When he makes a late run like that, it's because he studied the game. I don't sit here and try to take any credit for that. The only credit that I would want to take is saying that's a player that we should bring into our club because he's a player that fits our style. And Ali Mackay and Caleb Shreve and Eamon Dunleavy were right there with me, that everyone wanted to bring him here. And what I've heard from feedback is that he's just, from our fans, from just so many different people, he's someone that you can't help but notice and you can't help but support. And he energizes you, man. He's a multiplier, not a divider. And so I'm really, really thankful he's with us, and there's more to come for him. There's more to come.
Speaking of more to come, how big a smile when Peglo was also involved?
Yeah.
Was that a kind of DC United moment? Hey, we're, this is part of what this season is going to be about.
I've tried to describe that in preseason about some of the players that we've added this year and how proud they're going to make our fan base. Peglo's he's a super player, just a super player. I mean, he's a super person. Again, works extremely hard every day, is assimilated with the group. The group really enjoys being around him. And he just fits exactly what we're trying to do. And he's the type of player that can be a match winner. And he's the reason we win this match. I don't think that we were, hitting our highest levels on the day. I think there's some really good things. But his individual quality helped win this match. Drew the penalty, played the ball to Kajima. And one more time, we're going to need more moments like that from him for us to be able to have success in 2025.
Next, we'll go to Bruce Murray.
Hi, Troy. How are you?
Hey, what's up, Bruce?
Thanks for your time. Another Kajima question. He was our man of the match. A brilliant run into the box, sat down in the zone. A very difficult skill, the header backwards. And can you talk about just every blade of grass that he covered in this game?
Yeah, I see. That's another thing that I see every day in training. So when we get all the physical data back, virtually every single day, when he's training fully, he's at the top of the charts because that's part of who he is. I mean, he's part of the engine of our team with that type of work ethic, and that again fits exactly what we're trying to do and our style of play. So he complements that very well. And beyond just being a guy that can work really hard, he's got a ton of skill too and a ton of talent. And so part of talent is being able to recognize space and what you do in that space. And we saw that the other day in a game-winning moment for him to score. He saw where the space was, he ran to it, but then he had the difficult task, like you said, of finishing the play off, and he did. And we need more of that out of Jose.
That's great. Thank you, Troy.
And then we'll end it with Dennis Gomez.
Hey, Troy, thank you for speaking with us. Staying on the topic of Jose Kajima, there was he gave some comments about LinkedIn posts and about how much, some of the things he's learned from his times at Wake Forest. How glad are you to see players like this contribute to the collective benefit of the team?
Yeah, I think it's inspirational, man. And you could have an individual saying that type of stuff, and it sounds a little bit, like maybe it's like self-promotion or something like that in terms of like being really studious. And I'm just here to tell you that that's not the case. I mean, Jose's a guy that is who he is. He is a guy that studies the game, just like eats, sleeps, breathes it. And I think he also tries to like give back to the game that way, where he likes to put different ideas out there. And I don't know the reference about LinkedIn, but I heard some of the players today kind of giving him a little bit of stick about it, just saying like, come on, man, like. But that's Jose, though, man. Like, he puts that kind of stuff out there because he does watch the game and studies the game more than anyone else. And so I just like it when people are authentic to themselves and don't really care what anyone else thinks. And Jose's that guy. And I think that's why he's a really good fit for us, too, because we want those types of personalities in our team. And, yeah, I appreciate all these questions. This is the Jose Kajima press conference today. That's all right, though. I like that.
Thank you for that. And then just a follow-up, you're one of the 8 teams in the privileged spot of being undefeated still. How can you continue that path?
Yeah, I talked to the players about this today. Let's stay there. Let's stay there. Don't get any type of apathy and think that we've done something, because we haven't. As I mentioned, we started like this last year, winning 2 draws. But at the same time, we have to believe in what we're doing and say we're one of those teams that are still without a loss on the year, and let's not move away from that. Let's, like I talked about earlier, the momentum that we've started to build, let's build more. And I think we have to start playing with that level of confidence, because we're doing some really good stuff right now. And there's a huge difference between confidence and arrogance, and I want our group to be really confident.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys. Yep. Thursday paying you guys? What's going on?